Welcome to the Deuce Cast Extra. It is Tuesday night, August 31st. This year is flying by. We are about to be in the best time of the year, which is obviously football season. So I am very much looking forward to watching copious amounts of football. I will go ahead and spoil something that is being released tomorrow on the Deuce Cast's episode that we will release on Wednesday. I did hit my 365 movies in a year goal. So now I am on to watching Succession and probably Sopranos and copious amounts of football every night of the week, because there'll always be random games on Wednesdays. So I'm definitely looking forward to all of the football type talk that we will be having in the Deucecast Discord. Thanks so much, Jacob. It's really the highlight of my life. Forget marriage, forget
your
children.
child.
Yeah, I mean, this is the 365 movies in a year is definitely the highlight of my life. So we are here, of course, as always, to talk about What If, but there was another fantastic. Oh, well, you know what? How are you doing, Garrison? Sorry, how rude of me. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Okay, awesome.
It is football season coming up, and high school football's already started down here. We've called a couple games.
Oh yeah,
it's been a very interesting season due to many factors that we've
Of
talked
course.
about off air.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
but yeah, it's going well down here. So
yeah. It's man, football in general being back and with crowds. That's the important thing to me, is having crowds out there despite everything going on. Crowds outside. It's all about. That's what football is all about, man. So I'm glad
it's about
that
the community.
It's about the community.
It's the same thing with movies to me.
Oh yeah, totally. Like went to the Sidewalk Film Festival this past weekend, and just seeing films in a classic. We call it's the Alabama Theater. It's sort of our old classic. There used to be vaudeville on the stage back in the day, and it's been refurbished and stuff. And it's just great seeing a movie in that theater. And they have had so many donations this last 18 months that they've got a new screen and a new sound system, and it sounds absolutely amazing in there. If you are ever randomly in Birmingham, Alabama, you need to try and catch a movie at the Alabama Theater, because it is awesome.
Jacob just made a comment: football without crowds is fake. I actually know one of the guys who was contracted out to do the fake crowd sounds last year for the NFL.
That's awesome.
And he was using Madden crowd sounds. So if you wanted a heads up on that.
that's so funny. Yeah, no, it's the truth. But last week we did have a new episode of Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian. So I wanted to talk about that for just a minute, because it's Star Wars related, first of all. And it was a really good episode about the season finale of season 2 of The Mandalorian. So it was really just like 45 minutes. I was kind of hoping it would be longer than that, if I'm being honest, but it was 45 minutes.
It was 45 minutes covering a finale, though, which is...
This is true. A couple of things that I didn't like about it before we talk about all the awesome stuff in it.
Okay.
I didn't like that none of the other cast members were interviewed besides Luke. And I get it. It's Luke. And I thought that was weird.
It does seem like, at least from a certain standpoint, a bunch of them didn't know.
Oh, that was even happening?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because of the way they filmed it.
That makes sense.
Filming. They filmed it with a skeleton crew, not many people there.
Yeah.
And then they told the people that it was a Jedi and that it was Plo Koon in the script.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if most of the actors would have been a not great interview for that. Now, maybe someone like Pedro, but I bet he would know some of this stuff. But
yeah, it would have just been nice to hear from another one of the actors. That's right. I'm the same way. I was baffled. Look, I was surprised that they even showed her in one of the shots of the episode. Like, it was brief. Yeah, it was brief, but they had her in a shot in the episode, and I was like, wow. I'm surprised they even acknowledge her existence anymore, which is absolutely ridiculous. But that's just my personal opinion of that. But the episode itself was great. I would I would listen to Dave Filoni talk about Star Wars for hours. I love everything that guy says about Star Wars because it's also accurate and relevant to what's going on, and he just knows it so well. I mean, he was a fan before, and learned a lot of stuff directly from George Lucas while he was making the Clone Wars. And so I really just love everything that whenever that guy talks about Star Wars, it's really, really cool. Anything in particular that you took away from the episode?
I liked hearing these guys talk like they were 7-year-old boys again, basically.
Yes.
They were really geeking out about having Luke on set, but also getting to hear Favreau's take on it, and also his geeking out about R2-D2 in the episode. I thought that was really interesting because of how much he talked about how emotional he got when R2 was on set and going through the scenes with Luke and Grogu.
Yeah, just like Roth saying here, Dave is the best man. He just gets it. I teared up a tad when John was talking about R2. And it's funny, he teared up again when he was talking about R2 also. He was like, even in this moment. And I loved what he said about how he doesn't understand it. And this is true of me, and I think a lot of people as well. They don't understand what it is about Star Wars, but it just really just makes you so emotional. I mean, a lot of it is obviously it makes you reminisce about your childhood, because there's not anybody that was born before maybe like 1982, let's say. I mean, there's probably a lot of kids that age going to see the original Star Wars that were probably born in 78. From that point forth, like 40 years of time has gone by where there is a kid somewhere right now probably watching Star Wars for the first time. And so that's going to be a feeling that people have through eternity for watching Star Wars for the first time. And it just makes you think about your childhood, and it just, makes you reminisce about your childhood, and absolutely love that feeling, obviously. And Star Wars isn't necessarily the only property that does that to me, but it's certainly up there. Like, it's probably like top 5 properties that would do that to me as far as, getting emotional. Indiana Jones is one of them too. I mean, I love seeing Harrison Ford on the screen, even though he's going to be like 80 something.
Yeah, even though he's 137 in the new movie. But
right, whenever the Indy 5 comes out, but it won't matter. I mean, you're still going to get that feeling when he pops up on screen with the hat and everything, and it's just great. I of course loved all the technical talk. I mean, there was a ton of technical talk. They really delved into their decision process, and I appreciated this. Their decision process of whether they were going to go with, the traditional CG elements when doing facial scanning, or doing deep fake technology. And they went back and forth trying to decide, what they were going to do. And they settled on not doing deep fake.
Yeah. And they ultimately did de-aging with Lola, who does all the Marvel de-aging.
Yeah.
The Marvel de-aging looks fantastic. I have to say, I don't think this is a hot take. I don't think that Luke Skywalker is as good as some of the Marvel stuff.
No, I don't think so either.
But I don't let that distract me a little bit. I did love how in depth they went into deepfake, because it is AI learning. And I don't know how many people know that. I did know that before this episode came out. I know what deepfake is because I've seen some of the behind the scenes process of people doing that on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I loved them just showing all these things they pulled, like interviews that had good lighting and old archive footage and footage in general. I thought that was really fascinating to see that they plugged in all those, millions of frames that they could. And they obviously have a lot more processing power than some guy on YouTube.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it was really intriguing, and I had not heard this anywhere, or if I had read it beforehand, I had forgotten that they actually used AI voice for Mark Hamill.
Yeah, and you know what? They were like, we don't know. I don't know if people caught it. And I remember at the time watching the episode and going, that's a computer voice.
Yeah,
because there's something underneath that voice the entire time I could hear that was very computerized to me. I also work with a lot of radio tech and stuff like that, and compressing things, and it just sounded a bit off to me. Sounded a bit messed with.
It's creepy
so
to
it didn't
think,
surprise me, but I didn't know that for 100% fact. So
it's creepy to think that my voice is out somewhere for the last 10 years, and people could probably create an AI of me based upon all the content.
We could download some episodes of the Deucecast and create a little AI of Mikey.
I wonder if I could just pay somebody to do that, and I would never actually have to record an episode again. Intriguing.
That's correct, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It would sound really weird, but yeah, I could make it work. So I thought that was interesting. There was less talk of the volume. I think this was much more focused. Yeah, they did a little bit of that.
It's funny that you say that because you sent me that volume video.
It came out right after, the day after.
So I watched that literally right after I watched the episode. And so it all kind of blurred together for me for a second. Yeah. But yes, they didn't mention the volume there, but I did see a whole entire volume thing.
Yeah, in the ILM video that they released, I guess the day after, it also had a lot of that footage that was in that video felt like it was from season 1. They had a couple of season 2.
They had the Ahsoka thing. Yeah.
They had the Ahsoka thing. And so that was a nice companion piece. And I'm sure they did it intentionally. A nice companion piece to the episode to have that YouTube video of the volume and stuff like that. Because that still is such a fascinating bit of technology. And they've got them all over the world now, where they've got one in London. Well, they've got one in Australia.
They were basically saying in that video that they can pop them up really anywhere if they want to. Yeah. Because of the technology.
Yes, Dr. Earl, welcome, sir. We were just talking about how much we loved the Disney Gallery episode of The Mandalorian finale. Have you had a chance to watch it yet?
I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I bet you did. I mean, what's some of the stuff specifically that you liked about that episode?
Well, I mean, obviously, having Mark Hamill there.
Yep.
And him meeting Grogu for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just having these sort of flashbacks and the way they approached it to ask him to do it. I think Favreau just sort of talking about how they said, we want to do this right. So, I mean, and surprisingly, all the different technologies they used to try to figure out how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And how secret they were with it. I mean, you guys talked about all this, but just
they locked
amazing
that guy in
how
the
they
room.
were able to keep that a secret in today's.
I forgot. Yeah, they locked the guy in the room. Yeah,
that was they locked funny. The deep fake guy in the room. That's how they were able to keep the secret.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the
guy. Obviously, two of the really funny things that came out of that episode was the concept art of Plo Koon being used to throw people off,
and putting his head in the dailies as Plo Koon,
right? And even having that in the script as Plo Koon. And, just the links they go is funny.
And Dave Filoni being like, well, we figured if it leaks, they'll be like, oh, Filoni loves Plo Koon, so
right. Yeah, Earl, I don't know if you knew this about Filoni, but before he was employed with Lucasfilm, back in the day, he actually used to cosplay as Plo Koon. That was really? His character.
That's who he loves, right?
That's who he loves. Yeah, he would actually cosplay as Plo Koon at fan events. I think he was in line for episode 1 as Plo Koon, and stuff like that. And this is obviously when he is younger in his career, probably working on The Last Airbender and stuff like that. But he tells such a funny story, and I don't know exactly what interview it is, but how when George Lucas called him for the first time to hire him on for the Clone Wars, he didn't believe it. He thought it was one of his friends doing a George Lucas voice.
Yeah,
he hung up on him. And I mean, such a funny story. He's told it a lot in different places, but I just love the fact that he is where he is in the company. I mean, it's just pretty awesome for, and it gives hope to anybody really, that you can, if you've got some talent, that you can find your way into your dream job at some point in your career. And now he's doing live action stuff, and I can guarantee you early on he never saw himself doing anything live action. I can assume.
No, he was always an animator, right?
Yeah, he was always in animation. So I bet he never in his career thought he would get to the point where he is now, being really closely involved in live action stuff. But I love those Disney Gallery episodes. It's a clunky name for a show, but they're always really good. The first season I liked a bit more because of the roundtable aspect of it.
That's always
I liked that.
Due to COVID.
Yeah, they can't obviously do the roundtable stuff with COVID or whatever, but
because the season wrapped and like this, they finished filming like around the time COVID was starting to happen.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
Favreau sort of almost got choked up at one point.
Yeah, we mentioned that, how like he was talking about what did him was when he first saw R2 rolling in.
Yeah,
and then he broke down. He couldn't handle it anymore. It's good stuff. I mean, and it's the same way any of us would be. And I did like that Peyton Reed got to talk quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was surprised that
I forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they included him so much. And you can tell it's a big collaborative effort. I'm sure Filoni was on set. I'm sure Favreau was on set. I mean,
they mentioned that Favreau was on set for a bunch of this, which kind of surprised me, like, because he's not directed a ton of episodes. So I wondered how on set he was. But it sounds like he's almost kind of behind the directors the whole time. Right.
I mean, I just get the sense that it's a very collaborative effort.
Yeah.
And even as far up as, just from afar, probably Kathleen Kennedy trusting them enough to just run the show and run the ship, and they don't need any.
They're kind of like the showrunners.
Yeah, there's not much input that she gives, I'm sure, but it's because she trusts them so much. These are veterans in the industry, especially Jon Favreau and Peyton Reed. Too. He's been around forever.
Yeah,
people don't realize that, but
yeah, they'll always get notes.
Sorry, go ahead, Garrison.
They'll always get notes, but I'm sure it's not as much as some other people. Like Deborah Chow was probably getting for Kenobi and stuff like that.
Yeah,
or she's a trusted director, but not necessarily been in that position for a whole show.
Oh, and that was the other thing, and I know we're jumping around a bit, but that little ILM video that was on YouTube, Deborah Chow was talking about Obi-Wan in that video, and that's the first time I think we've heard her talk about the series at all. It was like a 30-second, if even that, clip.
It was just like a voiceover.
It was like she was there. Well, no, they showed her, and she was talking about it for a second, and I even thought that they showed perhaps what was a set on the Obi-Wan.
I just figured it was. I just figured it was behind the scenes Mando stuff because they didn't want that out there. But maybe
that was on this last episode.
No. The ILM video that they released on YouTube the day after that had a bunch of stuff about the volume. The way it looked, it was almost like a "Hey, come use us."
Advertisement.
It was like an advertisement. Come use the volume. We've got a volume in Australia, in London, in America. I didn't realize they had one. Like, was it Baltimore? It was some random place that they.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. I don't remember the city exactly.
It was such a quick. Like, there was 5 of them, and one of them was randomly in Baltimore or something. I thought that was very strange, but I guess it makes sense to have them all over the place.
Is there one in Atlanta?
Probably.
I don't know.
Well, they're done with Atlanta. Baltimore's the new Atlanta.
The thing is, they were talking about they could pop it up anywhere. So if it needs to be in Atlanta, it can be in Atlanta. That was kind of the advertisement that they were giving. This is an easy way to pop something up. You don't have to go to a different location. We can build the volume, and you can shoot there.
Yeah.
One of the things in this episode I thought was interesting, they kind of glossed over it, but they talked about the secret keeping a little bit, where Grogu was kept a secret for the first episode, but that was the first episode of season 1. They had to keep the secret for 8 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And they were talking about a little bit. We were searching a couple weeks before on the internet just to see if anything had leaked.
That was awesome.
And it's a testament to that crew and those guys that it never did leak. We all had our fan theories, but they were not leaks. There weren't leaks out there saying Luke Skywalker's going to be in the finale.
No, I don't think so. And I even think, and the way that they did that episode, I still was not convinced that was really going to be Luke on that X-wing. When they showed that X-wing coming in and landing,
I was thinking Ahsoka.
I was like, this is not really going to happen. But then, he ignites the green, and you see that green lightsaber, and you immediately know, oh, so good. And I loved Hamill, talking about the secret keeping and how long he had to keep the secret. Yeah. Also, I mean, and
he's like, I can do it.
Oh yeah, he was like, I've had to keep things from my family for forever. I mean, and he said, didn't he say something like this? Yeah, he said Empire was much longer than even this was, a year and a half.
Yeah,
keeping the secret for Empire. Yeah. Oh, it's so crazy to have to do that. But it's all worth it. And of course, something that Hamill always does is he acknowledges how important the fandom is to the Star Wars universe. And, he said that a couple different ways in this particular episode. So I think he was very, you could tell that he was very thankful to even be a part of it, because to his point, they really didn't need him there, but he was very much there to help the guy that they were using, as the body double. That guy was a legit actor. It wasn't just some like stunt double.
Yeah, no, he was pretty good at it.
Yeah. He was a little short for a stormtrooper, but I thought he was good. I would have, all the fanboys want it to be Sebastian Stan, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he'll ever. It could, but
there's still time. There's still,
there is still time. There's still time, I guess. But I don't know. I don't think it. I personally don't think that with the technology that they've got, they don't necessarily need to hire a big name for that role. I mean,
I guess the argument could be, say we get into a situation where budgets are getting slashed due to things like COVID driving down revenue.
Yeah.
You may just want to hire an actor.
Yeah.
At that point, but I totally agree with you. If they can continue to do the technology, they probably will, and they're probably not going to show Luke a ton if they do that.
Yeah,
but that's my feelings. Yeah, and eventually Grogu's. We'll get to this obviously when we get to Book of Mando or something. But I feel like Grogu's got to get back to Mando at some point.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the rumor that's flying around right now is that there's only one more season of The Mandalorian, but that it's very much a possibility that these characters will start jumping from show to show.
Yeah,
so it'll be like the Netflix Marvel setup, where the characters jump from show to show, and they have a team up at the end, like the Pretenders or the Defenders. I mean, the Pretenders.
Well, compared to the comic book Defenders, they are kind of pretenders. But.
That's very true.
Whoa, now.
Look, there's no Hulk, there's no Doctor Strange, but
So I can certainly see some of these characters jumping around. Like, I think we're going to get a lot of cameos in the Book of Boba Fett. I think there's going to be from the other show, from Mandalorian.
We're going to get some live action Bad Batch. Is the rumor.
Ooh,
probably. I mean, I don't see why not.
Din is all but confirmed at this point, confirmed by the studio at this point. I mean, he's pretty much going to. He's going to be in the show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, at the very least, like an appearance at the end of the season or something, like to tie Mando season 3.
I know there have been a lot of rumors of Cad Bane and stuff like that. We'll see. So
yeah, I've seen those too. Yeah, I think there's going to be all kinds of crazy. It is going
a live
to be
action Cad Bane.
Yes,
I actually kind of want to see that.
Wow. I do kind of want to see that as well. Well, let us jump in then to What If, and this one was called "What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes." And one thing
for
the Avengers. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. What I want to do.
Justice League. I didn't know.
Right, Earl. I do want to start mentioning the voice cast just so we can get an idea of who they recast and who came back.
Yeah, small percentage.
Yeah, very small percentage.
By the way, spoiler alerts for this for those watching.
Oh yeah, well,
we're going to spoil this episode.
Yeah, we're going to spoil the episode.
Not watched.
Yeah, obviously the new character throughout the series is Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher.
Yes.
In this particular episode, we had Samuel L. Jackson back as Nick Fury.
Yep.
We had Michael Douglas back as Hank Pym.
Yes. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I'm here for him.
A voice for Black Widow was Lake Bell. Well,
yeah, that was kind of an interesting pull.
Yeah. She was good. Mick Wingert did Tony Stark's voice. So obviously
serviceable.
He wasn't there for very long.
No, he wasn't there for and then we had obviously
he'll be used later on because he's going to be in that Killmonger episode too.
I bet that's the guy that they're going to use for Tony Stark's voice. Yeah, Clark Gregg was back for Agent Coulson.
Yes,
Frank Grillo
his character was a little more silly than normal, but
he was a little more.
I loved that Clark Gregg was there.
Yeah. We did have Frank Grillo back as Brock Rumlow, so that was cool. Jeremy Renner was back as Clint Barton. Sorry, not Black Widow. No, Clint Barton. Betty Ross was Stephanie Panicello. So
I knew
did
it
not
wasn't.
have
just a voice actress.
Yeah,
but she did a good job.
Liv Tyler.
Yeah. No, what was it? Liv?
I think it was Liv Tyler.
Yes, it would have been. Liv Tyler
in the last Hulk.
In the MCU Hulk,
right? The other one was Jennifer Connelly, but
yeah, exactly. Mark Ruffalo was back as Bruce Banner. Tom Hiddleston as Loki,
which is weird because he was playing Bruce Banner in a scene from The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
it was kind of weird.
That's true.
Weird.
Yeah,
he wasn't Ed Norton.
Yeah.
Michael Patrick McGill was General Ross's voice. So that somehow they couldn't book William Hurt.
No.
Jamie Alexander came back as Lady Sif, just one line, but she was
one
back.
line. She needs money.
Yeah, Alexandria Daniels was Captain Marvel. It was just one line again. So
she'll be back though. I bet.
Yeah, she'll be back as that. I'm assuming that if they're going to have these particular actors and actresses in for these characters, they'll be back throughout the series. The same voice actors, that is. So so as you can tell, this was a packed full episode, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, this is probably my favorite one so far. And because there was like a story that has not a mystery, and it's a story that hasn't been told because obviously it's a different part of the multiverse that this is happening. So it was cool to see that. What's some of the stuff that you guys liked about the episode?
Well, I just talk about what you were talking about, how different it was. The first episode was almost just a reenactment of Captain America with Captain Carter. The second episode took you a little farther out, but it was still kind of very familiar.
Yeah.
And this one starts off kind of familiar, and then boom, it's totally different after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like that they're kind of moving it forward in that way.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I really liked in this episode was every episode we have a beginning of the episode that shows us the choice that changed the timeline. In this one, because they wanted to set it up as a mystery, they didn't show us that choice, and we had to kind of discover what that was as it went on.
Mm-hmm.
And we obviously do discover what happened. We don't know the full story, but we know that a certain person dies. Well, spoiler alert, we know that Hope dies in action somehow.
Yeah.
And that has led Hank Pym to become the Yellow Jacket of this multiverse universe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and obviously as the episode progresses, we get the reveal that Hope Van Dyne was murdered in action. So she was on behalf of the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
She got, murdered in action. And so we get a very upset Hank Pym in this episode. So
totally
upset.
Different type character.
Very different than the Hank Pym that we've come to know and love.
And he's right. Roth is right. This Hope was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes. Yeah.
Sent on some mission, I think, to...
I can't remember what country.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It was a Russian...
It wasn't Budapest. It wasn't Budapest. I'll say that. If I knew it wasn't Budapest, it was something else. Yeah, it was in Eastern Europe, though. I mean, you're right about that.
And she got killed.
She got killed.
And that,
exactly.
And well, if you watch the beginning of things like Ant-Man and some of the flashbacks with Michael Douglas's Hank Pym, that guy can be set off pretty easily.
He's got a temper,
and he did not get along with Shield or agencies like that were trying to take his technology from him to use it in weapons and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, and honestly, in the comics, if you ever go back and see, a lot of times Hank Pym's on trial for something. Like he's kind of this. He's a little bit sketchy in the Avengers. Like I feel like there's always times that he's done something with technology that he's. There's this whole story arc called The Trial of Hank Pym, where this character called Egghead sets a lawsuit against him. Anyway, that's why he needs a defense attorney, and I'm here for Hank Pym.
Yeah, well, we know that Hank Pym created Ultron in the comics. So
that's right. So he's always had moments where he's like sort of stepped out of the sort of the norm and sort of has to be reined back in a little bit. So it's pretty true to form.
Yeah, and so like going through the episode chronologically, I mean, we're obviously getting the story here that Fury is trying to put the Avengers together for the first time.
Yeah.
And we have Fury and Natasha going to first try and meet Tony Stark
in Iron Man 2.
In Iron Man 2, yeah. So
with some of the same shots.
Yeah,
some of the exact same shots, and that's what threw me off. They even went as far as to show like that, he had that stuff creeping in on his neck, and
that's why she went to inject him. Yeah,
that's why exactly. So as far as as a viewer, okay, so they're just gonna show us something a little bit different, maybe, and then he just dies. I mean, he dies, which was a shock. I watched it a second time today with my daughter, who we're slowly going through stuff. Like we watched a couple episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we're trying to keep up with What If today, and she was like, whoa, this is interesting. I mean, that you've got an Avenger all of a sudden die right there, like it's no big deal. And
that's What If in the comics, by the way. They will be quick to throw away characters because they can.
Yeah,
it's not beholden to any continuity, so they can murder a bunch of people and it doesn't really matter, and it can take really dark turns.
I think I would be. So you're letting your daughter watch this, Michael?
Mm-hmm.
I would. I don't know. I would just, because this one made me a little nervous. Like how I was thinking, like of the Disney aspect of here's the Hulk exploding.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's watching Falcon and Winter Soldier now, also, which has all kinds of stuff in it.
Well,
so I mean, she's 10, going on 11. So I mean, whatever.
The thing is, I feel like these cartoons, while there are definitely some dark elements in it, don't get me wrong. It feels really like the What If. It feels like What If is kind of targeted towards younger kids.
I think so,
because the Hulk blowing up scene was kind of silly. Yeah, and you have really, really silly dialogue with Coulson talking about Thor at the beginning.
Coulson.
It feels like it's targeted towards younger people, but I could be wrong.
And this Coulson is almost, and I know Marvel would hate me to say this for whatever reason, but this Coulson is almost like the Coulson that we got in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first couple seasons.
Yeah.
Like sort of silly, sort of,
That's not canon, Mikey.
Exactly. See, there's Marvel executives that are just, abruptly woke up from their sleep right now.
Woke up in a sweat.
Woke up in a sweat. Somebody's saying something about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
is trying to call back the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, we shouldn't do that, which is so dumb because, look, there was some good it wasn't great all the time, but there was some good stuff in that show.
I really want them to come out and just be like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not necessarily canon to the main timeline after a certain point, and it's canon to the multiverse. And we've introduced the multiverse.
It's canon adjacent.
Yes, exactly. It's like it's like Star Wars.
It's multiverse adjacent.
And I love how at this point we've had Sif in so many different shows at this point, like, and it's always Jamie Alexander, even for one line in an episode.
He is so down to do it.
Yeah, she's up for anything.
That is probably why she didn't show up for Ragnarok, because she was supposed to get killed off in Ragnarok with the Warriors 3.
Oh, okay.
That's right. All the others
and she couldn't make it because she was filming something else. I feel like maybe she was like, "Yeah, I'm just not going to go to that. I want to stay alive."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's kind of only the only Warriors 3 that's left. Although, who knows if we're going to get to see? I wonder if she'll be in the 4th Thor movie in some way. Love and Thunder. She is in there.
Yeah.
Well, good. See. Good for her. Good for her. So yeah, Natasha gets arrested, as protocol would require when you are accused of potentially murdering Tony Stark. So she gets arrested. Fury helps her get out of the situation pretty quickly. Well, no, he knows that she's going to be able to get out of the situation, and man, Rumlow, Rumlow, yeah, he just has no control over anything. And I love that Frank Grillo came back for that, but he got his butt kicked pretty quickly by Natasha. She had no problem getting out of that situation that she was in. And so then we get to a scene that we've never seen before, which is, well, do they show the hammer first before they show her going to meet Betty Ross? I can't remember if they briefly show them putting the base around the hammer.
Either way, we haven't seen the Betty Ross thing before.
Yeah, so we get a new scene to the MCU, basically, which is Natasha going to meet up with Betty Ross, hoping that she can identify at the time what they thought was probably something chemical that was in that syringe. But
it's PIM particles.
But we find out it's not. It's nanotech or whatever they said they thought it was. And then we get the weirdness of Mark Ruffalo being in this version. Version of the Hulk instead of Ed Norton.
Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah, he seemed weird, like his delivery. Like I went back, I was like, is Ruffalo trying to imitate Ed Norton here just a little bit? Like in that scene where I don't know, there was some kind of head bob thing he did that I was like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ruffalo.
It was a throwaway though, but.
Yeah, I mean, Ruffalo sometimes is kind of strange when he's playing that character. I don't know. I have not loved every single minute of Ruffalo as that character. I'll be honest. I have not loved every single minute.
I'll be honest, and I'm going to say a hot take here because I know a lot of people didn't love this.
Yeah.
But I loved his Professor Hulk. I did.
I don't.
There are a lot of people who didn't, and I did.
That's some of the stuff. Yeah, that's.
I have a feeling the next time we see him, he will probably not be Professor Hulk anymore because Hulk's always got to start over on a different cycle all the time in the comics. Oh my goodness!
I just think like Bruce Banner is a more difficult character to get right than people give it credit for. I mean, I still think Bill Bixby's the best Bruce Banner there ever has been.
Edward Norton actually did a really good job of playing the haunted Bruce Banner.
Yeah, he did good. He did good. And but Bannon was okay. I don't know. I still think Bill Bixby, but that's just because I'm an old dude who remembers that show, and I just liked his portrayal as
he was a very
specifically Bruce Banner. Yeah, I mean,
do you like the TV movies with Daredevil in a just a black costume and then Thor?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, I did not like that.
Well, that was near the end of the run.
Yes. The TV movies. They were doing the TV movies. Yeah,
the trial of the Incredible Hulk or something.
Yeah, the series was over and they'd moved to like TV movie realm, which was not great. That was not a great era of that whole thing. So pretty quick, we see one of General Ross's guys take a shot. We think it's one of General Ross's guys take a shot at Bruce Banner, hit him in the shoulder. And he hulks out pretty quick after that, and really things don't go well.
He turns into like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and explodes.
I kept thinking about. Well, they showed it at the end. I mean, it was Hank Pym that shot into his shoulder and threw something into his heart.
Oh, it was like
enlarged his heart. Oh, wow!
It expanded his heart.
It is.
Yeah.
He threw a Pym particle at his heart and made him expand, which they kept, saying this can't happen. He's invincible, or he's not supposed to be able to die. Unfortunately, he did die in a very violent way.
Hank Pym's pretty smart.
Yeah,
Hank Pym knew the only way to possibly kill the Hulk was to expand his. Fetmatic, exactly. Like Tetsuo and Akira. I was thinking Violet Beauregard in Willy Wonka when she blew up from
blueberries.
The blueberries. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, that's a good example too, Fatmatic.
Was she the blueberry? No, she was the.
She was the blueberry. Yeah, that's what I mean. She expanded and exploded. Violet Beauregard did. So yeah, and in between that, we've got some stuff going on kind of at the same time. You've got Thor trying to go to his hammer, as we were accustomed to. Yeah, but again, it was all Hank messing with him.
Yeah, it wasn't Barton, and Barton they had to go after Barton at that point. Yeah, because they thought he shot Thor.
Yeah,
even
did they explain how Barton died? I didn't. I know. They went into him and they just fell over dead.
They probably did in that montage, but I wasn't paying attention close enough to see what was going on.
I watched it Wednesday last week, and I've kind of forgotten about Barton's death.
Me too. I was going to try to watch it again, and I just didn't get a chance.
That's the one thing I don't remember, because they did that quick montage at the end of the episode. It's kind of what people wanted Ant-Man to do to Thanos, just a different entry method.
Do you know what the meme was for Ant-Man and Thanos?
No. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Ant-Man. Yes. Yes. Exactly. We don't need to discuss that. If Rhett was here in the chat, it would be discussed, but we don't need to discuss that.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure you understood what it meant.
No, I've seen the meme.
Yeah. Do I need to explain it medically to you?
No. Okay. We don't need any medical explanation of any of that. I love the inclusion of Loki coming to Earth in this episode
to avenge his brother,
which was strange. That's a little,
but it's to further his agenda.
This is true. There's always a plan. Yeah, it was to further his agenda. Yeah, I still, love the inclusion, and he nailed it.
He took over the Earth at the end.
Yes, he did. He took
over, which is great. For people
and I hope we see more of that.
For people who criticized Loki for him not, being that evil or whatever towards the end of the show, there's that Loki for you. And I do hope
the original.
I hope
Loki.
People who wanted that get to see more of that. So.
With no Avengers to stop him, he just
which is why we see Nick Fury starting to put together another team.
Yeah, he's attempting to put together another team with Captain Marvel.
Well, two Caps.
Yeah, two Captain Marvel and
Carter.
Captain Carter and
I don't think that's
no. I think that's Steve Rogers.
Yeah,
I think that's Steve Rogers.
That's Steve Rogers' Shield.
That's the thing that I wish they would.
This is the first episode that was definitely not in the same universe. So
and I think that I wish they would explain that a little bit better. That we're jumping into different multiverses here.
I think it's a different world each time.
Yeah, like maybe a different part of the multiverse each time. So just because you've got T'Challa as Star-Lord in the previous episode doesn't mean that in this universe, when Fury is trying to assemble another Avengers team, that he's going to be able to call up T'Challa. Oh, we do have Rhett. Good grief, Rhett. There's something wrong with him. But a different world altogether, which is fun. I love that. I am interested to know if Rhett is bothering watching this What If show, because it's animation.
It's a cartoon.
And that's usually not something Rhett will spend time doing. So, but this is Marvel. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, Rhett, you need to comment
at the next level.
But he said he can't hear. So.
Oh, he can't hear. He can't hear anything. Oh, okay. Well, hey, Rhett, I appreciate you dropping in to support us for a minute. Oh, he said he was watching. Okay, I don't recall that. Interesting. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to put that in there. That's a little bit much, Rhett. That's chat. That's chat content only. And I guess we forgot, and I was hoping that she didn't die, but Natasha, I guess, were to assume she's dead.
Yeah, I think so. Possibly, yeah.
I mean, she wasn't around at the end of the episode.
She's gone.
Yeah, she's gone.
He was killing the 6.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was killing the 5 because Captain America hadn't been unearthed yet. So.
Had not been
he's
unearthed
about
yet.
to be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. He's about to be. And I hope they do. This is a type of episode that I hope they do a follow-up on. I know that it probably won't be the very next episode because I think we're getting a Doctor Strange themed episode next.
Yes, and I can tell you the title of that when we're ready. So
okay, well, we'll talk about that at the end. I just saw a quick clip and saw that Doctor Strange was the next episode. But so the end was pretty neat where you have Fury working with Loki to sort of trick Hank Pym.
Yes.
The reveal and the help that Natasha gave before she was killed off was, it's all about hope. So again, this was a thing that as the viewer, we didn't know hope was a part of things until that moment.
It's part of the mystery.
Part of the mystery. And then we've got
it's all hope.
It's all about hope.
I thought she said Hulk. And so I was like, wait a minute, what? So I rewound it back.
Got to put the subtitles on.
I know. Yeah, that's
she just say it's all about the Hulk? I was like, yeah.
Exactly. We did get to see the pager for a minute. We thought that maybe Captain Marvel was going to be called, and then Fury
was at the end.
At the end.
Man, my beeper's way over there. I'll show you my pager.
You've still actually got one of those. But Fury, a light bulb sort of went on in Fury's head when he was listening to the tape. Is the tape?
This is Rhett's favorite way to watch it.
I know exactly. I don't know if I can recover.
I'll just start
from that.
Squirming in my chair a bunch, see if he knows.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, anyways, the light bulb turns on, and then he goes to Loki and gets the help from Loki to trick Hank Pym. We get to see Hank Pym as, I guess, Yellow Jacket in this case.
Yes. Yeah, it's Yellow Jacket.
Yeah. Okay. Which is interesting because the rumor is we're getting Corey Stoll back as Yellow Jacket in the next Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, and I imagine it is still Corey Stoll. I know that the next Ant-Man is.
I think it is. Yeah,
I know that the next Ant-Man is more multiverse related, but I just don't think they're going to do that to Hank Pym in the movie.
Right. No, I think Corey Stoll's coming. I thought that he dropped that he was coming back or had been contacted or something like that.
I think Variety or Hollywood Reporter had a podcast where they said that they heard that was a strong possibility.
They heard that. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, anything else that you guys took away from this particular episode?
Yeah. Rhett's not getting out of there.
No.
Yeah, sorry, Rhett. The planes just left.
Yeah. You should have gotten out. They sent a bunch of alerts.
It's the last day, man. Keep working the Hooters.
Oh god, this is totally derailed at this point.
What was this, Mike? What was your question again? I'm sorry.
Just anything else that we missed that you took away from this particular episode?
I mean, I do love the callbacks to the other movies, but it wasn't like an overwhelming callback.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a better way to do it, where the whole movie wasn't just beat for beat, or the whole show wasn't beat for beat the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't love Hank Pym being the bad guy necessarily.
You're old school though. That's why you're like, I don't like my Hank Pym being the bad guy.
I don't like my Avengers getting killed off. I didn't love this episode, honestly.
Oh man, this was my favorite one.
But then I know what they're doing. I realize what they're doing.
Sure.
They're setting up.
Oh yeah. It's all multiverse, different stuff. So
they're just first off, I think one of the things they're doing is they're trying to show you that our timeline is the best timeline. Is one of the things they're kind of doing. Yeah.
What is it called? The sacred timeline?
Yeah, the sacred timeline. Yeah.
The 616 exactly.
Which that's going to be a problem if they ever want to connect it to the comics. But
I hope they don't try and connect it to the comics. There's no need for that. There's no need for that.
It has a comics designation, but apparently they're calling it Earth 616 in the show. So whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I personally don't care. I'm not going to start reading all the comics just because they connect them. I mean, there's no way.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah.
They do connect the comics in the fact that if they do a movie out of something, that character will come back or a series will come back. But they're not gonna connect it like that. They do have some prelude stuff they do occasionally, but that's about it.
So you got to keep up, Roth. Sorry. Right.
They did a really cool prelude to like Infinity War or whatever. That was a comic.
Yeah, they've done those prelude comics before, but I just don't want them to connect the MCU to the Marvel comics. I do not.
But I don't want them to throw away all these other characters just so they can supplant them with these more
careful.
Careful.
Yeah, careful. Okay, so what is the title of the fourth one called? The fourth episode called?
So look, I these are all on Twitter. It's not hard to find. It's on the Marvel Studios. So this isn't even like a spoiler or anything. It is what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? So I think the premise is that Christine Palmer dies in the accident.
Okay.
And from what I could tell, he might want to resurrect her, and so he's going to go a little evil. So.
Interesting.
He's going to want to tap into a lot of power, and that's going to drive him probably to a dark place, is what I imagine.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, when you first said it, when you first said lost his heart instead of his hands, I thought like physically, but you mean like emotionally.
I was thinking he was going to get an Iron Man heart.
Name of the episode, but yes, it's I think it's metaphorical.
It's metaphorical in the sense that Christine. Wait, what's her name?
Christine Palmer.
Yeah, Christine Palmer. Rachel McAdams. His character died.
So that Doctor Strange can have a Clea or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And he's going to be a bitter Doctor Strange. Ugh, that could be bad. That could be very bad. I hope they don't like go dark with all like every character turns bad for something. Like Hank Pym turns bad in this episode.
T'Challa didn't turn bad.
Well, that's true. That's
Captain Carter
T'Challa made the whole universe better by his.
That's
except for the fact that the whole universe kind of ended with Ego, or at least Earth did.
Right. What we assume is going to happen when Ego shows up at the end of that episode.
And nobody's there to stop him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm enjoying this series in general just because at least at this point it doesn't seem as if there's many high stakes involved in the sense that the things that are happening in this series are going to affect anything that's happening in the MCU. Now, if that comes to fruition and something that happens in this series does affect the MCU, then I might need to rewatch them all again with a different mindset, because right now I'm sort of just watching them like it's just fun, different, not really going to affect
it as well.
Yeah, not really going to affect things.
I know that there's rumors of Captain Carter showing up. But I imagine if she does, it'll be in a multiverse movie, and it won't overtake the movie,
right?
And it'll just be like a quick oh, you remember that from What If, that kind of thing.
Hey, I would not complain at all about more Haley Atwell.
I don't.
I would not complain at all.
She's in 2 Mission Impossible movies. I'm living the dream right now.
Really?
Haley Atwell.
Oh yeah.
The next two.
The next two, 7 and 8. She's in both of those. Now, are they? Sorry, this is a side. Are they filming 8 right now, or did they have to stop that?
Idea. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, when they first announced 7 and 8, the whole plan was to film them concurrently, but I think COVID just really screwed all that up.
I am very, very interested to see the production budget on that thing.
Good grief! It's got to be like Avatar
they have had
level.
To shut down tons of times,
so many times. I mean, good grief! There's no telling. The final trailer for No Time to Die came out, and it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I did enjoy that.
Put out 2 trailers, I think.
Rhett, I agree, Rhett. I'm not going to put that on the episode, but I agree.
So he can hear.
He can hear.
No, he's reading.
Oh, he's just reading the chat. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Roth. Okay.
Yeah.
Roth will keep him conformed.
So, I guess that'll do it, guys. I don't necessarily have anything further.
I agree with Jacob's comment.
Yeah. Okay, fine. But she did my boy Ben Affleck dirty, so I don't know if I like it. Might have been no, it was probably mutual. I don't know. We're talking about Ana de Armas for anybody that's not in the chat right now.
He's back with what's her name now? So
yeah. Or for publicity purposes, they're back together.
He's with Jennifer.
Yeah, Lopez.
J-Lo. Yeah, J-Lo.
That Jennifer, not Garner.
No, not Garner. No, J-Lo. The first Jennifer.
Wow, anyways. Might as well circle through them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I appreciate, as always, appreciate you guys in the chat. Really love the interaction that we get when we're doing these live shows. It's been suggested that I need to release these as podcasts also. I don't know. I don't know if I want to release these on the Deucecast feed, to be honest. These are just fun for YouTube, and I think we're gonna leave this as our YouTube show. I don't think we're gonna release the audio of this. It's much more fun just to leave these on YouTube. Go ahead.
The funnest time is watching it live and being in the chat.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Listening to this on audio. Join the fun. Yeah, listening to this on audio would be a nightmare. So no, I don't.
Yeah, there's probably a couple times I've flashed things like stuff like this.
Exactly. Yeah, last episode especially when we did the trailer breakdown for No Way Home, that was fun. But I really appreciate you guys listening. As always with YouTube, we're looking for more subscribers. So the best thing you guys can do if you're watching this in the future is share this with a friend. Try and help us out, get some more subscribers. Like the episode, comment, click the bell, all the fun YouTube jargon that people throw out there. That's right, Roth. This is an exclusive show. That's right. Very exclusive.
For our patrons.
Yeah, trust me. I see the numbers of people watching this, so you're right. It is very exclusive.
Not by our choice.
Not by our choice, but it is very exclusive. Oh, and hey, the end of the year, man. We're going to be doing a lot of these during the week when Yellowstone comes out, and
wow.
Yep. Oh yeah. We're going to be the Deucecast Extra is going to be expanding in the fall quite a bit. So we will.
About that, bro.
Hey, look, me and Roth can take Yellowstone if you want out, Dr. Earl. I mean, it's fine.
Wait, if Roth's on.
Yes, we're having Roth on, but it's going to have to be a different night of the week. We're going to do this 2 nights.
We got to expand. We got to have 5 days of content.
5 exactly. 5 days of content.
Give us the Rhett spinoff. No.
Oh God, what is Rhett even? I don't watch The Expanse.
Rhett's rants.
Is that the show that Rhett was obsessed with? The Expanse. I
got to start watching The Expanse.
No, I'm not in on that. There's too many other new shows coming out. But anyways, Ryfin, thanks so much again for joining us this week. It was fun as always. Dr. Earl, thank you for making time, sir. I can tell that you are still in your work garb, and we appreciate you. You're a very busy man, so we appreciate you coming on.
Literally giving a guy, my next door neighbor is a lab tech guy, and we were giving a guy a COVID swab in my driveway.
It's the life of a doctor, man. It never stops, does it, Dr. Earl?
Never stops. It comes to you. We got to take care of the people.
It comes to you. That's right. Is that a HIPAA violation to do that in your driveway?
Probably a safety, probably an OSHA violation. But
definitely not sterile environment, but none of those are.
Drive-up clinic right there.
Oh yeah, the drive-throughs. Yeah, there's definitely not sterile stuff. But next week is going to probably be a short episode because we only have What If episode 4 to talk about. But nonetheless,
maybe it'll be a big thing to talk about with the Doctor Strange stuff.
Oh, maybe it'll be a
maybe
long
it's a 2-hour episode.
No, it won't be a 2-hour episode.
It'll probably be 30 minutes. Yeah,
it definitely won't. But as always, we will be back next week talking about episode 4 of What If, and hope everybody has a great night.